Right guys, got a fish shop tour for you all today. I can't wait to show this off, so let's go. So as you can see, he's got a stunning little shop. He's got tons of like bread and butter fish that the community wants. He's really helpful with all the new people in the hobby. There was loads of new people in asking him all sorts of questions, and you know, he was talking everything from nitrogen cycling to what you can keep in community tanks with other things. He had a couple of questions on shrimp and stuff like that. He's just a really good guy. I've known Paul for a while. I've known of around the hobby and stuff, and he's really helpful with the community. He's got his own Facebook page. As you can see, here's some guppies. He's like stocks everything for the local community, for like people that are just getting into the hobby, you know. And he's massive with the breeders. This shop's like a local, it's a hidden gem for the local breeders. They're all in here, so I know a lot of the top breeders, and they rave about this shop because he's a hobbyist first, you know. When he's not in his shop, he's in his fish room breeding stuff, and he travels out the area. He goes out the area and buys fish that like aren't in the hobby locally, and he'll take them back to his fish room, breed them, and he'll get into the hobby locally. I've seen him at other shops, to be honest, quite a lot. He's in there buying stuff that he might not have in his shop, and they're not on his lists, so he'll pop in, have a look, and if you know, he says if they're well priced, he doesn't mind. That's like first and foremost, he's a hobbyist and he likes getting fish in. But look at these rainbows here, they look stunning. I haven't coloured up yet, but I'm sure once they've coloured up they'll be absolutely stunning, because rainbow fish are, aren't they? But as I say, he's got local ties with all the local lads who, you know, so any of the other shops in the area, he's got ties with them. He's got like the breeders that he's friendly with, they're all at the local clubs and auctions and stuff. So his fish are going to the clubs and stuff, and auctions are coming to him, you know, to like the fish that he stocks, and the lads are breeding. So there's a few tanks I'll point out, like I know where the fish are from because I know the breeders, and I want to get in their fish rooms if I can. And so yeah, I would like to get into some of these fish rooms and record them, because I know some like absolutely great fish rooms, and a lot of Paul knows the same people, so you know, he's got some cracking breeders who are bringing him stuff, and he's got like cracking lists. So this is the type of shop that if you're looking for something, you know, you go to the bigger shops that, because as I say, I'm in the northwest, so, and the northwest's kind of like, you know, we've got some titans of the hobby, haven't we? The likes of your Premier, the Pier, and like the likes of your Finest, Aquatics. We've got some big hitters in the local area, so sometimes these local bread and butter fish shops can go, you know, unnoticed. And one of my goals as part of my channel is to promote these local guys who are smashing it, you know. Paul's doing that. He's got a shop. He's the type of lad that if, you know, you're looking for a certain fish, you can come in and see him, and he'll go through his list, see if he can get hold of like these rare fish that you're looking for. He probably knows a breeder who's breeding them, or you know, you might even be, look at that pleco, that's absolutely stunning, that pleco. There's like, you miss things in all his tanks. Like there's absolutely stunning stuff in all his tanks, and some of them I'm trying to catch his stuff. Look at these cories, like he's got some absolute, like I'd record the tank and then I'd go to record the next one, and as I'd look back there'd be like fish I hadn't seen flying out from under the filter or something. So it was one of them shops where you've got to keep your eye open, or you might miss something that's like really good. And like I really love this shop. It's one of them shops that he's in touch with what's going. Look at these Manica Peru. I nearly walked out with these Manica Peru, if I'm honest. I was so tempted to buy them, and they're well priced as well. I know a local breeder who breeds Manica. These might be from the local breeder, I'm not sure. I didn't ask Paul where he got these from, but you know, talking about these, he gets these Manica Peru in, and there's a guy who's a judge at a local event, he was saying, and he came into the shop. He hadn't bought fish from a shop in 25 years. He came in, asked Paul if he could test his boat. Look at this L066 on the thing. It didn't move all the time I was in the shop. There was two of them. I found it hard to get the other one, footage of the other one, because it was quite shy. But this fella here, bold as brass, just chilling on top of the sponge filter, living his best life. And Paul, these do live the fresh life, because Paul's in here changing water every day, so like he's doing a better job of his tanks than I am. And then he goes home and does it at home. Yeah, but I'd say this guy come in and he, like, you know, he's a judge for fish competitions, and he said, see this thing, like there was stickers on the glass, and I was like, Paul, where are these, like the pistos in here? And he said, like, he'll order stuff in, and as soon as they're in, he posts them on his page and stuff, and the local breeders are in for them straight away. And he told me to get here Friday morning and said that, like, it'll all be ready to go, and the breeders have already been in to get all his his little bargains. And like, I can't stress enough how much like this shop's a hidden gem. It's just tied into the local community so much. It's all the local breeders are constantly in here, and he's got some cracking fish from local breed. Like, I don't think if there's a fish you're after, I don't think you can't get it. As I say, he goes out the area to get fish so he can breed them and get into the local hobby. He knows everyone in the local area. Everyone knows Paul. He's a top lad. He's a really nice guy to talk to. He's one of them people that if you're just starting out, look, like the bread and butter fish here, like he sold tails and stuff. If you go in, see him, and you know he's starting out in the hobby, he's the type of guy who'll stand, talk you through everything, and get you up and running. Like, this shop's just, it's great for that. It's one of them shops, you know, bread and butter fish shop that, like, as I say, I want to promote these more, because, you know, sometimes they get overlooked, especially in my area. As I said, like, we've got some Titans, and we've got some massive clubs and massive auctions, so sometimes, like, we need to promote these shops, like these bread and butter shops, because, like, we're living in a time where once they're gone, they might not come back, and we want these people in the hobby who know what they're talking about. They've been in the hobby. And Paul said, like, he didn't basically intend on starting a fish shop. He kind of inherited it from the local community. That's what they wanted to do. That's what they wanted him to do, and that's what he did. Look at these little cherry shrimp in here. I'm gonna drop some off for Paul, I think, because you know, the world will never have enough cherry shrimp. Someone's always after cherry shrimp, the cracking little shrimp. And you know, while I was recording other tanks, I heard Paul talking about these with other people, and Paul, like, was a guy when I first got into cherry shrimp, Paul was one of the guys I went to with advice, because he's got tons of cherry shrimp. He had tons of different lines he was breeding at the time, like tons of different colours, knows his stuff. Like, he's just a top guy. Look at these. Now, these are an old school Amica Splendens, like one of the, I think it was, Paul said it was like the first live bear in the hobby, and he said the old boys love it. As soon as the old boys come in the shop, like, they want some. And going back to that judge, like, he hadn't bought fish from a fish shop for 25 years. He asked Paul if he could test his water. Paul said, of course you can, mate. Tested the water, and he said, can I handpick some of your fish? Paul said, yeah, of course you can. So the guy handpicked a load of his Manica Peru. First time the guy, but look at this ranchu. First time the guy bought fish from a shop in like 25 years. Like, the guy's really picky, and Paul really tells you what Paul's all about. This ranchu, like, anyone who knows me, old school, knows what I'm about, knows that I, like, for 2 decades was just into goldfish, and a lot of fancy goldfish like ranchu, oranda. Now, this to me is like, it's got all the genetics of a top tier fish. Here's, you know, Sarasa comets, people know, and the old lemon style, you know, the yellow goldfish, some of my favourites. But I say I was like big on me ranchu and oranda for years, and I was ordering them shipped from Japan and China and stuff, and that goldfish, I could see no fault with it. Like, I would buy that as a high-end fish all day from, like, any high-end breeder, or, you know, like the top breeders. There's some koi here, so, you know, bit of pond stuff going on. Cracking little project for someone, isn't it? Getting into the, I think Paul's bang into his angling as well, so if I remember rightly, I heard him chatting away to customers. So there's a selection of the, because everyone comes in looking for pond fish, don't they? So we have to cater for everyone. So in the summer, a lot of the shops have pond seasons, and people come in looking for this stuff. So you gotta cater for it. Now these, I I think he said there was 3 different lines in here, but I recognise some of these fish straight away because these fish are related to my fish, my angels, and they come from a local breeder who is absolutely smashing it in the northwest. Like, he's pumping them, he's not messing about when it comes to breeding angels. He's got, these are his mixed line, and he's got Manica Peru, I think. I don't know whether he moved them on. He was looking at moving them on because he had the other projects going on. And there's the Garamis. Yeah, so like the breeder, he's absolutely smashing it with his angels. Like, he's breeding like any type of angels that you can think of. He's, you know, the zebras, the clowns, marbles. He's got Pinoy. He's got Bulgarian seal points. He's got lavender ones and all sorts. And he talks to me all day about this being heterogeneous and that being. And if I'm on, I'll be completely honest with you guys. I don't know what he's talking, but Paul understands him. So if you want to talk about that sort of stuff, come see Paul if you're local to him. But Paul sells a lot of these. You know, they might not necessarily. Yeah, they're not common in the hobby, but Paul sells a lot of second-hand stuff because he said the fish room, like, that's what they're after. They're not, you know, they don't want top. He sells new tanks. There's a few new tanks in this video, but he sells a lot of second-hand tanks because he said, like, it's mostly new people and breeders. So like, the new people tend to buy his new tanks, and the breeders want cheap second-hand tanks that they can get in the fish room and play with, and that's what Paul found. He said they do well. So, you know, if it's doing well, you're business minded, you've got to do what the market wants, and the breeders want Paul to do this. And he says, like, and he had like I think it was like 16 tanks in a rack of beta tanks. He said, and someone out there wants it, so we bought it to because he, you know, he's all about promoting the community. Like I said, when he's not in the shop, he's in other people's fish room. He's traveling all around the country to get the fish he wants. And you can't knock that. Like, the guy's one of us. The guy's a fish keeper. So he said this is what people want. He got all, like, as you can see, filters here, brand new from supplier. Now, Paul's in touch with the same supplier as all the other, you know, fish shops are in the area. He uses the same supplier. So if you need something, you can get it off Paul the same as you know, because the shop's a little bit smaller, he might not have it on the shelf there and then, but he'll order it in. Like I said, that's the type of shop this is. It's a bread and butter fish shop. You can go in and he'll ask him for something, he'll tell you when it'll be in, and you can go in and pick it up. And here's his, his range of foods and other dry goods, and you know, water conditioners and treatments and stuff. But I spotted on the shelf in the middle there, slightly to the left, is Rapashi. Now, I've been after Rapashi for my fish for years. The plecos absolutely love this stuff, and it's just fuel for them. If you're breeding plecos and you feed them this stuff, they absolutely fly. They put the weight on so fast. And Paul is the only fish shop in the area that will sell it. And he said basically the other shops aren't selling it because there isn't that much of a markup on it. But he knows that that's what the breeders want. So, you know, while he might not necessarily make that much money selling it, like, he's got these discus here. Now, these discus are from a guy called Chan, like one of the most famous discus breeders there is. And everyone's after Chan's fish, and people have been coming into his shop asking for Chan discus, and he said no one in the area's got them. So he said he bought a load in bulk so he could offer them to the local hobby, more goldfish, more sarasa. I love these fish. Everyone knows I love these fish. But I say that's what Paul said. He said that, you know, I bought them in so I could get them in and offer them slightly cheaper, because a lot of the local shops won't stock Chan's fish, and if they do, like, they're selling them for prices that Paul said people won't necessarily pay, unless it was a breeding pair that are ready to go. Like, people wouldn't necessarily pay that much. There's some fantails. I haven't seen fantails, and some blackmores. I haven't seen these in any of the local shops for ages. So this is one of those shops where, you know, if we support it, it'll grow, and if we don't support it, it could go. It's one of them, you know, it's a local bread and butter, what the Americans call mum and dad's fish shop, mum and pops they call it. You know, I'll post, it's Wallacey list card on the Whittle, and what I'll do is I'll post a link to his Facebook for the page for the shop and also his local group. Now go over and show him some support, guys. Even if you're not local, at least go over and say you've seen him on the internet, on YouTube. Keep us talking about you, telling you how great the shop is, because we need to support the guy. You know, your comments might spark a bit of activity, which creates, look at this planted tank, guys. This look at that. Like, I absolutely love the look of that tank. Looks absolutely stunning. Nice and bright. Them plecos. Everyone loves a bristlenose pleco, don't they? And those reds. I thought they were absolutely stunning. Like, I don't keep reds, so another fish I was tempted to get hold of, but then I thought, well, you know, I've got enough plecos and I want to do what I'm doing with them. So look, his dry goods is spot on. He's using the same local suppliers as everyone else. I'm going to get in there and start supporting him a bit more, get in there a bit more often. I know a lot of people are after my shrimp. There's some people locally after my shrimp, so what I was thinking of doing is maybe dropping some of my shrimp off in there, so you can go in if you're after them and get yourself some. And you know, it'll probably give the shop a bit more of a markup, so they can maybe invest in something that they've been after for a while. And it has that butterfly effect, doesn't it, where, you know, the little extra bit of income. His reptile room, he's got tons of reptile and there's a cheeky little crayfish. But I'd say, you know, it helps out, doesn't it? And that's what I want to do. I want to support him and help him grow. So, you know, pop over and say hello. That post, even if you're not local, go over to his page. I'll leave the links in the description. Say hello. Tell me you've seen him on YouTube. And, you know, that post could push his page a bit further and local customers might see it, and it all has that snowball effect, doesn't it? And all the support we can show him helps him grow the shop. Look at these discus. I know they came out with these are absolutely stunning. Chen's discus, and I've known about Chen's discus for a good few years. So Chen used to hand deliver them to your house if you bought them. And these Corys, these are absolutely stunning as well. It was quite hard to get them on camera, they were all hidden in the back, but yeah, it's second-hand stuff. The breeders love this. They come in when they're setting up fish rooms and raided shelves. Some of the stuff I see in here second-hand, like I paid 200 quid and he 20 quid on the shelf. So as you can see, Paul's got a cracking little shop. It's doing really well. He's started off from the ground. Really hard to get it where it is now, and the local community absolutely love this little shop. So I'm going to drop links to his shop and his YouTube channel in the description below. Take care, guys. See you soon.